You've been married to your wife for nearly 7 years and together for a total of 10 years. Recently she confessed that she has been having an affair with a coworker for the past 8 months. This coworker, a man who had recently gone through a divorce, was someone you considered a friend. You had suspicions about your wife's behavior but held her to a high moral standard and never imagined she could betray you like this. During the time of the affair, you, your wife, and the coworker had socialized together, having dinners and drinks, and they acted completely normal, hiding their secret from you. When she finally told you about the affair, you gave her an ultimatum: either end things with him or end things with you. To your shock, she admitted she wanted to continue seeing him, despite claiming that she still loved you. This was a crushing blow, especially after building a life together over nearly a decade. You questioned how she could compare the depth of your relationship to an 8-month affair, but she had no answer, only saying she was sorry for hurting you. Understandably, you felt devastated, betrayed, and heartbroken. You've been grappling with a mixture of emotions: anger, sadness, embarrassment, and disappointment for not recognizing the signs earlier. However, you made the decision not to beg for her back, accepting that your relationship is over. You resolved to move forward with your life. Since then, her family has become aware of the affair and they are upset with her. They've reached out to you, offering their love and support and reaffirming that you will always be part of their family. This includes her sister, who has taken your side and expressed anger towards your wife. The bond between the two sisters seems to have fractured, with her sister declaring that she won't be involved with her if she continues her relationship with the coworker. Over the weekend, you kept yourself busy and emotionally distant from your wife, making it clear that you are no longer available to her. You've already started divorce proceedings, consulting with a lawyer and exploring housing options. You're considering buying her out of the house, as it's a place you have emotional ties to. Given that your wife makes more money than you, you've also filed for spousal support. While there's a challenging road ahead, you feel confident about the steps you've taken and the direction your life is heading. You don't have children together, but you share a dog who will be coming with you after the split, since you've been the one raising and training her. This simplifies the separation process, as there's no child custody battle to navigate, and once you've moved on, there will be little reason for you and your soon-to-be ex-wife to maintain contact. In the weeks following her confession, something shifted for your wife. After you filed for divorce, she suddenly came back to you, saying she wanted to work on the relationship and repair the damage. However, by that point, you had already made up your mind to move forward with the divorce. For now, you've kept this information to yourself, as you want to maintain an amicable relationship until the house is sold and the legal proceedings are further along. You plan to serve her with divorce papers soon, at which point the reality of the situation will become unavoidable. Throughout this process, you've worked with your lawyer to divide your assets and you've made significant progress. Once the legal and financial arrangements are finalized, including the sale of the house, you will fully close this chapter of your life. You've also taken steps to protect your financial future by investing in tools like LifeLock to monitor and secure your credit and financial accounts. In the meantime, you've begun dating casually, finding that social interactions help distract you from the pain of the divorce. While the process has been emotionally taxing, you feel stronger with each passing day and more in control of your life again. You have no regrets about your decision to divorce, recognizing that your well-being and future are more important than trying to salvage a broken relationship. You advise anyone in a similar situation to prioritize themselves and their happiness, as leaving was the best decision for you. As of your latest update, both you and your wife have moved out of the house, which is now on the market. The sale is expected to close soon and your divorce will be finalized shortly after. The journey has been difficult and you still have emotions to process, but you feel a sense of relief and certainty that you made the right choice. While you still care for her, you've come to terms with the fact that there's nothing left in the relationship to save, and you are focused on rebuilding your life moving forward. After 10 years together and nearly 7 years of marriage, your wife admitted to having an affair with a coworker for the past 8 months. This man had recently divorced and was someone you had trusted and considered a friend. Over this period, you, your wife, and her lover often socialized together, sharing dinners, drinks, and spending time as if everything was normal. The deception hurt deeply, not just because of the betrayal, but because of how thoroughly they masked their affair while maintaining the appearance of normalcy. When your wife confessed, you gave her an ultimatum: either end things with him or your marriage would be over. To your shock, she admitted that she didn't want to stop seeing him, despite saying she still loved you. This was a devastating moment, especially given all the years you had invested in building a life together. You questioned how she could compare nearly a decade of love and partnership to an 8-month affair, but she had no real answer. She said she was sorry for hurting you, but you felt that if she was truly remorseful, she would have ended the affair and worked on your marriage before things got this far. You were overwhelmed with emotions: anger, sadness, disappointment, and humiliation for not recognizing the signs earlier. But most of all, you were heartbroken. Yet you decided not to beg for her back. You accepted that the marriage was over and resolved to move forward with your life. Since her confession, her family found out about the affair, and they were not supportive of her actions. Her relatives, including her sister, expressed their disappointment and reached out to offer you their love and support. Her sister was especially angry and declared she wouldn't be involved with your wife if she continued seeing the coworker. This solidarity meant a lot to you and gave you additional strength as you began to take steps toward your new life. In the following days, you intentionally distanced yourself from your wife, making yourself emotionally unavailable. You contacted a lawyer to initiate divorce proceedings and began looking at housing options. Since your wife earns more than you also decided to file for spousal support. Though it has been an emotionally taxing process, you feel optimistic about the steps you are taking to reclaim control over your life. You don't have children, which simplified the situation somewhat, but you do share a dog. Since you were the one who raised and trained the dog, you decided to take her with you. With no children involved, you saw no reason to maintain contact with your wife after the divorce. Interestingly, after you filed for divorce, your wife had a sudden change of heart. She came back, saying she wanted to work on your relationship and make things right. However, you had already made up your mind. You decided to keep the fact that you had filed for divorce a secret for now, hoping to maintain a cordial relationship until the house could be sold and the financial arrangements finalized. You knew that serving her the divorce papers would likely trigger a negative reaction, but you were ready to deal with it. Over the next few months, you and your lawyer made significant progress in dividing your assets. You worked out a financial agreement and put the house on the market. As difficult as it was to go through the process, you felt stronger with every step. You even began dating casually, which helped you stay socially connected and distracted from the pain of the breakup. To protect your financial future, you also invested in services like LifeLock to monitor your finances and credit. As time went on, the house sold and you made a substantial profit of $160,000 from the sale. The divorce was finalized and all financial matters between you and your ex-wife were resolved. With these final steps completed, you felt an enormous sense of relief. Although the journey was emotionally challenging, you felt confident that you had made the right decision. You began dating someone new, an amazing woman who has brought joy and companionship back into your life. Reflecting on your experience, you realized how important it was to prioritize your own well-being. You acknowledged that in the beginning, it was hard not to question your decision, wondering if things could improve or if your wife might change. But you came to understand that relationships marred by betrayal rarely recover fully. Things never go back to what they were and people don't revert to who they used to be. Ultimately, your decision to leave was rooted in self-respect and the desire for a better future. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary to protect your emotional health and ensure you weren't trapped in a cycle of hurt and betrayal. You emphasized that while every situation is unique, especially for those with children, anyone going through similar circumstances should take an honest look at their situation and ask if this is where they want to be in 5 years. For you, the answer was clear: staying in the marriage would have drained you emotionally and made you miserable. The moment your wife admitted she loved someone else, you knew the chapter of your marriage had closed. While you still cared for her on some level, you understood that love without loyalty and respect wasn't the kind of relationship you wanted. You let go of what once was, knowing that real love doesn't involve searching for it in someone else's eyes. Looking back, you have no regrets. You found peace and you're grateful for the opportunity to start fresh. Though the road was difficult, it was the right path for you and led you to a much brighter future.